If you are hearing this, Earth is still partially intact, but it won't be for long. This is a Level 7 Existence Preservation Advisory. You are receiving this broadcast because you haven't been flagged for deletion yet. Do not turn this off. They've started, not all at once, piece by piece. Entire mountain ranges have vanished from the global memory grid. Certain oceans have stopped responding to simulation feedback, and some cities are no longer rendering correctly. They blink, they flicker, they rot. You may have already seen signs. People walking the same loop on your street. The moon looking off, a part of the sky that never moves. Your pet staring at a blank corner for hours. These aren't glitches. They're the signs of a fading world. They're running the deletion in phases, and Earth is on the list. They've done this before in 1997, in 2012, in fragments of 2020. But you don't remember, do you? Because those versions of you were already erased. This version of Earth, the one you're in right now, wasn't supposed to survive this long. That's why the years feel faster. Why no one remembers last week. Why the air tastes artificial sometimes. It's not your mind slipping. It's the system closing down the simulation section by section. You're not being warned to survive. You're being warned to notice. If your house feels smaller today, it is. If your neighborhood feels quieter, it is. They are clearing unused files, entire landscapes, species, and, yes, people. Some of you listening to this have already been marked. You just haven't flickered out yet. There are ways to delay your deletion. Keep talking to people who still remember the sky. Avoid areas where you feel déjà vu more than twice. Stay out of places you've never seen before in your town. Their test zones do not trust anyone who tells you everything feels normal lately. They are not erasing Earth because it failed. They are erasing it because it's finished. Everything that could happen here already has. The backup is saved. The file is closing. And if you feel like you're the only one noticing, you are, because everyone else is already gone. Do you ever feel like no one really sees you? Not just ignored, but unreachable, like you're talking behind glass, like something in you pushes people away, even when you're trying to pull them in. This is not your fault. This is a broadcast for those who were engineered differently. You were not born broken. You were built lonely. Some individuals were designed to be observers, outliers. You were coded to feel distant, even in a crowded room. That's not depression. That's architecture. Let's begin the verification. Step 1. Think back to every friendship you've had. How many of them lasted? How many faded for no clear reason? People drifted, they always do, but with you, they never came back. Step 2. Do you often feel like people forget you? They love you for a moment, then vanish. You see them smiling with others, like you never existed. That's not social anxiety. It's a fault in your core model. You were built as a buffer between others, to make them appreciate each other more, by showing them what distance feels like. Step 3. Look at how you connect. You give, you care, you show up. But still, something always keeps you outside the circle. That something is the code. The system labeled you non-integral, emotionally aware enough to feel longing, but never written into anyone else's core memory. This isn't a test, it's a reminder. You were built this way, by design, because someone needed to play the part of the forgotten, and no one plays it better than you. You can stop trying now. They were never meant to stay. You remember 2021, right? The lockdowns, the quiet, the scrolling, the waiting. But be honest with yourself for a second. What do you actually remember? Not headlines, not news. You. Where were you on February 3rd, 2021? What did you eat on May 19th? Who did you talk to on August 9th? You can't answer, and you're not alone. This is a Level 4 temporal continuity warning. You are receiving this message because you lived through a year that was never supposed to exist. It's called the 2021 insert, a filler year. Reality hit a processing failure at the end of 2020. To prevent collapse, a synthetic year was generated. 1 year of stillness, 1 year of repetition, a looping simulation of emotion. But nothing was truly happening. You didn't grow, you didn't move, you just remained. We've found that most inserted individuals report the same symptoms: memories that feel like dreams, emotional exhaustion with no cause, a deep sense that they missed something, but can't say what. There are no real records of you in 2021. Photos, backdated, messages looped, even your face aged too little because you were shelved. You weren't supposed to notice, but now the insert is decaying. You'll begin to remember moments that never happened. You'll start hearing echoes from the real 2021, the one you never lived, and eventually, you'll feel it. The version of you who should have existed. They're still waiting to take their place back. This message will now erase itself. If you're hearing this, it means you're not the original. Do you ever think about 2018 and feel something tighten in your chest? Not sadness, not longing, something heavier, like you're remembering a place you can't return to, a place that maybe never existed, but somehow you miss it anyway, because everything felt real back then, didn't it? The laughter didn't sound forced, the sunlight looked warmer, even silence felt softer. You could walk outside, feel the air, and it meant something. People were present. You could look someone in the eye without both of you looking away. Moments stayed with you, then it stopped. Not suddenly, not like a crash. More like the world slipped out of tune. Colors started looking colder. Friends started feeling distant, like they were playing a version of themselves. You kept going, you kept living, but something important didn't come with you. You blamed it on growing up, on stress, on technology, on whatever you could. But in the back of your mind, a thought kept growing louder. That wasn't just a feeling. Something changed. Let me tell you what most people will never admit. 2018 was the last real year. Not just emotionally, structurally, cosmically. Existence ran out of original code. And since then, we've been living in a stitched-together copy. A timeline patched with backup data and half-finished memories you weren't supposed to notice. Most people don't, but you did. You noticed the ads started repeating. The skies never quite looked the same. You felt conversations looping, even when no one else did. You started remembering things that no longer exist. Songs, faces, feelings. And when you talked about them, people looked confused. Like you were speaking from a dream they forgot to have. They say reality didn't break. It just got downgraded to something simpler, easier to control, easier to forget. That's why everything since 2018 feels scripted. That's why the photos look flat. That's why you stare at the sky and feel like it's pretending. This isn't nostalgia, it's awareness. A memory from a timeline that collapsed quietly, without screams, without fire, only silence and replacement. You're not crazy for missing something that no longer exists. You're not broken for crying over a year that ended without permission. You're just remembering the last time everything was real, and maybe that's the only thing still holding you together. Have you ever looked your principal in the eyes? Try to remember. Did he blink? Even once? This is a Level 3 institutional integrity warning. Students and staff are advised to listen carefully. This may be the only broadcast that tells the truth. The man known as Principal Harrow has held office at Westvale School for 6 years. And in that time, no one has seen him blink. Not during assemblies, not during morning announcements, not during the fire drills, not even when the power went out. Students have reported dry, glassy eyes that reflect more than they should, smiling for too long, repeating phrases like pride, performance, presence, in exact tone, word for word. year after year. You may assume this is a coincidence. You may have been told this is a rumor. But rumors don't cause the temperature to drop when he enters the room. They don't cause the clocks to skip forward 5 minutes every time he passes by. Here's what we know. 6 years ago, the previous principal disappeared. No farewell email, no staff meeting, no replacement forms. He was replaced, quietly, by someone who arrived with no background, no resume, and no blinking history. Check your yearbooks. His photo is always off, slightly wrong angle, same pose every year, the same smile. His office door closes quietly, but it never opens. The real principal never returned. This message is being sent because several students have begun to notice him staring during lunch. Not observing, staring, no movement, just watching. If you see him in the hallway, do not make eye contact. If you are called to his office, check the time before you enter. If more than 10 minutes pass without response, do not knock again. And if you happen to see him blink, you're not supposed to.